Let's get into the big news in media, joined by Sophie Ellsworth, media writer in The Australian. Great to talk to you again, Sophie. Lisa Wilkinson is creating many more headlines since she left television than when she was in it. But this yarn that you had today in The Australian that she might turn up on our TVs again, maybe at the ABC. Really? The taxpayers have to pay for her next?
Well, time will tell, Chris, but Lisa Wilkinson has been around in the media industry for about 4 decades. She's in her early 60s now. She's worked at 7, 9, and obviously she's still employed by 10. And she's there, Chris, employed there until October this year. So there's not many options left for her. But I did chat to her close friend and former television executive, Peter Meakin, who said that there's still a long way to go for Lisa in her career. And he said ABC may well be a place she could land. But I would question this, Chris, in terms of what the ABC, if they were going to hire her, Chris, could they pay her enough to transfer over to Auntie?
Well, I think she needs the money. She'll love it. And that's just what they need on the ABC, another leftist commentator or host. They're really running low on leftist commentators. On the ABC, actually, you had a great yarn today about the inconsistency when they apply their social media standards to their various reporters and hosts. Fran is quite a prominent sort of a comedian come journalist, and she's been bagging the government over the Middle East conflict. Here's a sample of her work.
Your love. Like, we as a country had the opportunity to vote for a humanitarian truce that was put forward at the UN, and we abstained. What do you think they need now? Some love, or what the?
Yeah, so that's okay though. No admonition from the ABC?
Well, Chris, I put questions to the ABC about Fran's conduct. Now, Fran hosts the show Question Everything. Look, I didn't hear back from the ABC in regards to her social media rants that she seems to post frequently. But, Chris, David Anderson, the managing director last week, did say in Senate estimates they don't watch social media. They don't pay a scrap of attention to it, which I find hard to believe given they sacked Antoinette Lattouf over her social media. So it seems to be a policy that's very flimsy, and they only really enforce it when they feel like it. Depends on the day of the week or the vibe of the thing. So it's all a bit all over the shop, Chris. Well, surely this is not acceptable.
I wouldn't have thought so, not if they're consistent. Now, you've reported also today that the ABC's hiring a cultural advisor. Maybe they'd be better off hiring a social media surveyor.
Well, Chris, when media companies around the world, and not just in Australia, are slashing staff, the ABC are hiring 3 cultural guidance advisors. They've already hired one that's going to lead the culturally sensitive nature of stories and direct staff on how they can be culturally appropriate. They're hiring another 2. They said they'd have 3 hired by June 30. This is to make sure that stories relating to Indigenous Australians are dealt with culturally sensitively and appropriately, and they'll consult communities when they need to, Chris.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. Thanks for bringing it to us, Sophie. Appreciate it. Read Sophie stuff in the Oz.